Hey guys, this is Sonny from Gracie Bradenton, here with the youngest member of the Parlin clan here, future owner of Gracie Bradenton, and I don't know, we'll see how long, and it's going to be a while. But this is my son Jake, he's a blue belt, and we're going to show a move today. Anyway, we're escaping the mounted triangle today. So we're not going to talk about getting into the mounted triangle, I'm just going to get out of the mounted triangle. Now, let's look at a couple things here. Turn around. Okay. So Jake's going to have his knee over his foot, okay, to do this move. Now, the reason why is if he locks go ahead and lock your triangle up. If he locks this triangle up and then I somehow kind of explode into him or whatever, he can really hurt his foot. So when you're doing mounted triangles, the way we suggest you do it is to just bring your knee over your foot. So if he brings his foot over his if he actually figure fours his legs here, this can be dangerous for him. I've actually had this happen to me where I was trying to put a mounted triangle on a bigger guy, and he just kind of exploded. And when he did, it ankle locked myself, and I teared up a couple tendons in my ankle. And then a couple of years later, you can put that back. A couple of years later, that's when I learned that you shouldn't do that. So it was a little too late, but the advice is good for you guys still. So if you're doing a mounted triangle, try not to actually figure four your legs. Just bring your knee over your foot, squeeze the guy, pull the guy's head up and squeeze your knees together, and you'll get your tap. Okay. So, but we want to talk about escaping this move. So inevitably, whenever I get into a position like this, I always manage to be able to keep my arm to the outside, because that's extremely important, because if he gets my arm over, it's over for me, because not only is the triangle right there, the arm bar is right there, it's like I'm done here. It's going to be, I'm not done, there's always a way out, but it's a lot harder to escape with your arm over here than it is if your arm is over here. Because the first thing that I do when I'm in a mounted triangle is I try to put the person back on their back. So I'll bring my feet over here and then try to tip them over, and then come up like this. Okay, so basically, if I go one way and he bases, I'll go the other way, and then we end up in a triangle, in a triangle situation where he still has a diamond on me, but now here I'm gonna move for you. But now we're in a regular position that we're used to when we have to escape triangles. Now, the way to get out of this, and this is a really, really high percentage escape, okay, but there's a few steps to it, so we're going to take our time. First thing you want to do is you want to make a C grip with the hand that's on the inside, okay? The arm that's on the inside goes to a C grip on his waist. Now, I'm going to pinch his leg, drop my elbow on the floor, and sprawl my leg out, okay? As you can see, because he's a little smaller, his legs just came apart. Somebody who's a little bigger, they'll still keep the lock on their legs. Okay, see if you can do that, Jake. See if you can keep the lock while I'm doing this, okay? So he still has the lock on his legs, but there's no way you could triangle me, right? There's just too much, and I'm based out over here, so if he tries to come up and tip me over, it's not gonna work because I'm based out. My elbow is pretty well tucked away, so he doesn't really have access to that. Yeah, all my weight's on it. So the only other thing left to do now is break out of here. So I take my free hand, I come inside, I grab, I make a frame, I come back to my knees, and now I just frame out of the triangle, okay? So basically the idea is if you're in a mounted triangle, you want to make it into a non-mounted triangle. You want to get the person on their back first, and then you want to run the escape, okay? Because it's a lot harder to escape the mounted triangle just, from its merits, unless the guy doesn't have base and doesn't know how to be heavy, in which case you could just bump him off of you. But the idea is somebody who knows what they're doing, you got to get them to their back first and then escape like you would a normal triangle. But if you haven't tried that triangle escape, I learned it from my professor, Rob Kahn, and it's done me really, really well over the years. One more time. I'm usually, if I get to this position, I've worked it out so that I'm here with my hands wrapped around his leg, right? I don't want to be here. This is a bad position. Here, it's survivable. So now, basically what I do is I bump, and then I roll, okay? And now I get him to his back. I take a C grip, put it on his hip, I bury my elbow, and I sprawl. Now, I take this hand, come through, make a frame, and break out of his diamond.
Perfect.
So that's how I escaped the mounted triangle. But the real answer, the jiu-jitsu answer, the coach's answer is don't get put in a mounted triangle, guys. What are you doing? Come on. All right? Like, subscribe, hit the bell, ding dong.